My name is Cassie. What's your emergency?
There's a woman who's been blinded, her eyes gouged out.
Calm down. Is the woman injured?
Chorus of Carcosa is an upcoming psychological horror game based on The King in Yellow. I was given a 15-minute demo to try, and this is what I got out of it.
Something's happening in the hallway. I don't know what. It doesn't sound good.
Sir, can you tell me where you are?
318 Chambers.
Are you in front of your door?
What?
You have to open it.
Are you insane?
Open the door. Don't be a stranger.
The fuck are you talking about?
Atmosphere. The atmosphere starts off pretty impressively with a phone conversation that leads you to believe that either there's a mass conspiracy going on or the main character is suffering from hallucinations, and it leans more towards the latter. However, after the conversation ended, the atmosphere just dissipated and didn't really return, even in creepier environments. The lack of music or creepy sounds left most of the environments to rely on the way that they looked, which was unique in places, but it never really felt frightening or made me apprehensive. The atmosphere felt like it was missing and seriously hurt the way the horror felt for the remainder of the demo.
Oh,
That's no Harry Masons. Scares. In the demo, there wasn't much in the way of scares besides a section with two moving statues that stop if you look at them. But by design or by accident, they don't freeze immediately, following through their walking animation until it finally stops, which made it seem like they were going to keep going and made dealing with them a bit tense. This combined with their strange pathing, which made them seem to split up to corner you, made them the highlight of the demo. The demo used them in a few scenarios, but not all of them were well executed, with one part having a slow-moving door that makes you wait patiently for it to open so you can escape a statue. This felt like it was supposed to be a frantic situation, however, the statues don't move when you look at them.
They're alive. They're trying to kill me.
The most frightening moment in the demo still involved the statues, and it was staring at one and realizing you can still hear footsteps, and then learning there was a second moving statue. The concept isn't unique, but dealing with the two of them was far more nail-biting than anticipated, even with the atmosphere being largely missing. That's one Harry Mason. Sound design. The game's sound effects seemed pretty impressive, with a lot of them being realistic in the scenario that they were in. Heavy machinery, water droplets, and more, all added to the immersion. The demo had no music at all, or at best a high-pitched whine that was incredibly low in the mix, barely even perceptible, which really ended up feeling like a big hole in the middle of the sound design, considering everything else was fairly good. The voice acting for the main character was a little strange, but definitely had emotion, and the dispatcher on the phone sounded brilliantly creepy. There are various problems with the sound design that can be fixed with more time, like the sound of traffic outside getting quieter the closer you get to a window, and the lack of reverb on a main character's voice in a room made of stone. But otherwise, the sound design, though technically functional, felt responsible for half of the problems of the atmosphere. That's still one Harry Mason. Gore. There were some blood splatters visible in the distance, which implied several things that you can't really confirm in a 15-minute demo, which makes it all the more intriguing. That's two Harry Masons. Story. A sculptor calls emergency services after finding a woman with her eyes gouged out and seems to suffer from a hallucination mid-call, which sends him into a paranoid episode. The call is one of the highlights in the demo, and it happens right at the start, but from a 15-minute demo it's hard to parse the story or figure things out. Certain things seemed interesting based on the way that they seemed to be going, but again there's too little to tell. The story being based on The King of Yellow and just having Carcosa in the title is interesting in itself, and it does at least spark intrigue. Making the final score 3 out of 5 Harry Masons. The game has a solid premise, but it felt like the real missing factor was in the sound design, which ended up hurting the atmosphere and reducing the impact of the scares. The game doesn't have a release date yet, but there's still time to change things before it comes out. Again, I'd like to remind you the whole thing is down to my opinion in horror games. If you don't share this opinion, then that's cool, I get it. I'd like to point out that whilst I faced madness head on, I did not scream like a banshee or run away from the computer, and advise you don't either. There'll be more horror reviews in the pipeline, and thanks for watching. And always go check out Bumps in the Middle of the Night. Peace.